Hello and welcome to today's historic Best of 3 deck tech and gameplay video on an update to Boros Tempered Steel. This list is a artifact-based aggressive deck that wants to use various artifact creatures. Why is that there? Didn't totally misclick that. That wants to use various artifact creatures and the card Tempered Steel to buff up those artifact creatures, and with those pretty big artifact creatures, we go face. Now, in addition to the 4 copies of Tempered Steel, we also have 2 Galma the Shapers, which was one of the 2 cards that made me want to make this list. 3 mana 3/3 with Vigilance. When it attacks, you get a little 1/1 dude, and you get another copy of Tempered Steel into your hand. So this can function as, in theory, an infinite number of Tempered Steels that you can get your hands onto. But of course, even if getting copies 4 and 5 are enough sometimes. And the Galma itself is a perfectly fine aggressive card. And the other card that came out that made me want to try and make this list, or update this list I should say, is Hangerback Assembler. Basically 2 mana for starting your engines. Not going to go over that. But when it enters, we get a Hangerback Walker, and if we have max speed, we put a 1/1 counter on each of our artifact creatures, which is the majority of our deck. So not only does it create a body that the deck already wants to, play naturally, it also buffs the board of all of the things you want to play. I would argue a Hangerback Assembler, at least in a... I'll say this. I would view it as a strictly better Steel Overseer that you just have to jump through way less hoops to get to work. But beyond the aforementioned artifact creatures that are aggressive, our Tempered Steel and other Tempered Steels are generally just ways to buff our boards. We also have some okay glue cards. A few Chandras and 3 Tree Battalions. Chandra is a good card, pretty Swiss Army knife versatile. And 3 Tree Battalion is a way to just get extra copies of creatures in a deck that likes to, have a lot of creatures. It's a white collected company, and we love that. A couple copies of Flage and a couple Lightning Helixes, and even Get Lost for interactions, or interaction spells, which are good for obvious reasons. Land base, very self-explanatory for a aggressive list. Just running the appropriate red and white lands that will come into play untapped in the early turns of the game. This is one of those, you don't have to super marry the exact lands I use. You just kind of have to sort of, get that same feel going. You want to always be able to hit the battlefield on turn 1 and play a dude and really set the pace for aggression. Couple of utility lands. And honestly, all basic planes, since the majority of the list is really, really white heavy, we don't need that many red pips at any given point in time, and the few, I guess, non-basics we do have are pretty good at generating all the red we need. Sideboard, also pretty self-explanatory. Path to Exile, if you need just removal against big creature. Rampaging Ferocidon against life gain decks. Settle the Wreckage and Cleansing Nova are both sweepers. Settle is a good one-sided sweeper. Cleansing is, yes, a little slower than other options available, but it gives us flexibility. Even if sometimes you don't want to destroy all artifacts and enchantments, sometimes you need to. Couple Lion Sashes as Graveyard Hate that is also an artifact creature. Thalia for non-creature spells. Chandra Awaken Inferno and Shamil the Inner Sun are good ways to go against the counter-heavy matchups like your blue-white controls. There are some affinity decks that run some counter spells, and even like Dimir Rogues, if you run into that, will sometimes have counter spells, amongst other decks. And that is the basics of the list. Don't forget to like the video if you like it. Subscribe if you like my grab bag of content and would like to see more in the future. And if you have any sort of questions like, I don't have X, what about Y? Or other generally nice and or constructive comments, I'll do what I can to respond to what I see. With that out of the way, we'll go on now to game number 1. And game number 1 with our little Boros Tempered Steel. list, and this is a garbage opener, so we're going to throw it back. It's still garbage. It's a one-lander. That's better. We don't have 2 red sources for Chandra, and it's 4 mana anyway. They do go first. We'll throw back a land. Hopefully in, 3 draw steps, we'll be able to find another source to play Tempered Steel on turn 3. I'm sorry? Ruthless Negotiation. 1 black source, retarget opponent exiles a card from their hand. This spell's cast from a graveyard, draw a card. Okay. You know what, go ahead and do Tempered Steel. That's fine. We have extra copies, both natively, as well as in the Galma dude that we talked about in the deck tech part. Isn't that the... I think this is the... I might be wrong, but I want to say this is one that you can get from the achievements. It's not great. We didn't really have a whole lot else to do anyway. Might as well play the Sunbaked Canyon. Yes, I know there's an argument to be made that I could play a Plains and keep information hidden. But I'm a little, you know, afraid that I'm going to be real low on cards. To the point where I think I'm actually going to crack this, like, immediately. Does he pay the 1? He does. That's fine. Chips away for 1, and we will go ahead and crack the canyon already. Glad we did that, because that would have sucked to draw a land. Okay, well now I have only lands, so... While my point about last turn was equally as true, I'd rather play the Den while it comes into play untapped. Okay, this doesn't normally happen. But, I mean, it goes to show you that, you know, if you flood with any deck, you're not going to win. Yeah, you're going to be real surprised when you don't see anything to hit. That's great. Okay, yeah, this is cool. We're going to go to the... Or we're probably going to go to game number 2. But, like, that little moment, it's all about the little victories, man. Skyclave's a big draw. That helps us not die. But it's all about the little victories of, I'm going to play my Deep Cavern Bat, and I'm going to make you discard a card and gain information. Oh, wait, there's all lands. The fuck? And luckily they did this incorrectly, because now they don't get the creature, or they don't get the token, and their creature's still gone. But I've done that. I've done the exact same thing before. That's something. I might as well 3-tree now. Just hope we find something. Okay, Arcbound. That's something. We can do that. And because they have first strike, we can block the slasher. We can block the slasher blah, blah, with some degree of confidence, he says. Well, yeah, what, all day. Lose life during your turn. They lose twice that much. We die to a lot, don't we? I mean, okay, well, we're technically alive. Play Get Lost. The Bloodletter is the big threat. Not only because it's a big flying threat, but it's also buffing the rest of their board. Depending on what they do with the map tokens, we could just be dead. Okay, yep. That's game. Then he just cracks the other one, hits with 4 power in the air, and I can't do anything about it. Totally fine. Oh, it was my first game of the day, and I get this bug. Oh, boy. Honestly, we're just gonna... Like, how would I word this? Because we just flooded, we didn't do anything, like, terribly wrong, just gonna run it again. Of course, there is the possibility we just die again, but I'd be very surprised if we flood twice. I'm gonna keep this because it has things to do. Granted, they're probably gonna play some black discard spell on one, of which there are countless, but that's fine. Guess we play the canyons in case we need to break these open for card draw. Okay, that's fine. I'll take a card. Okay, I didn't want to draw 2 of my 3 trees, but yeah, I was really hoping we'd, like, you know, get a little more, you know, some more dudes in my life in my aggressive dude-based deck, but okay. Okay, I'm so lucky our opponent has done a whole lot of, like, a nothing burger. Because, really, this deck is not supposed to be this slow. Oh, one thing while we sit here and wait for our opponent to do things. Take a land all day. You will see that I got to Mythic. Oh, that's awesome. I will be honest, this got me to, I guess it's like Diamond 1. And because I was so close and hadn't gotten to Mythic since they had introduced the achievements, I figured, you know what, I want to just get Mythic and knock it out real fast. I say all of that to say that I played a mono red list to get me to Mythic, but once I got to Mythic and sort of crossed that achievement off the list, literally, I've been doing just the Boros Tempered Aggro, and it's not like it's not working, if we're being honest. What do I do here? Okay. I was tossing around, just throwing the Get Lost at the Cavern Bat, but all of my hand is instant speed. I don't think I need to give up the flexibility that comes with that. Doing nothing? Okay. 3-tree battalion it is. See what we get. That would suck, because even though 3-tree still gets me 2 copies, they both die the legend rule. But, I mean, they have modular, so that part still works. That makes me feel better they were just gonna remove it anyway, though. That's fine. What an unfortunate circumstance. See what we draw. Arcbound is fine. I think I'm just gonna pull the trigger now. They clearly have some sort of, you know, black removal spell, which is totally to be expected. In the meantime, we'll just get lost on the Cavern Bat. Hopefully they don't play something big and scary. But we're just happy to have the 3-tree back. They could just make us discard it again or something, which would be totally fine. Because they're not, like, doing that much. You know what I mean? Hey, Galma, nice. That gives us something to do. They're not doing that much in that, like, yeah, they're attacking my resources and stuff, and they're, like, preventing me from, like, really developing a resilient, scary board. But they're not, like, pressuring me. Oh well. We will go ahead and crack one of these canyons, since we're pretty parched in the whole card draw category. We're just top decking. That doesn't inspire me with confidence. That being on top is even more reasoning to crack this canyon now. See what happens. I'm glad we didn't draw that. Okay, give me literally something here, game. I mean, okay. Yeah, and then they block, and then they do the thing, and fine. Move it. Okay, that's cool. This card is like really... Oh yeah, I've had no counters. I forgot. I was gonna say that card's really annoying, but no one ever like puts a counter on it voluntarily, so I forgot the like latter half of that card. So it's actually like way easier than I thought it'd be. I'm a little scared that we're not gonna have a terrible answer to this Phyrexian Obliterator. Although, if they just, yeah. Just remove all my dudes, that'll kind of do it too. I guess we'll play a Flage. Sure as hell not hitting the Obliterator. This is one of those plays that's more so just to not die. The fact that we're in this game is crazy. Yeah, cool. Take my... It doesn't matter. I mean, I guess... Okay, you're drawing a card. Fine. But, like, 5 mana to effectively just draw a card. It's not the best spot to be in. And honestly, yeah, I'm just going to play the Flage. Might as well. Get rid of cards at random. How many more do I have? I have 5 more, so if he attacks with the Obliterator, I can block. But I kind of don't need to. Unless he just gets rid of it now, which is possible. And would not be the most surprising. They, you know, they're a mono black deck that runs removal. That's certainly an option. Sucks to lose the hanger back, but like, it's not like the worst. Honestly, that's like really huge. That's massive. Okay, yeah, 100%. We take that. We'll just start upticking the Chandra.
Over here. Yup. You're going down.
Decline, because I can't. If we're lucky, we might actually... Well, if we're saying if we're lucky and they don't do anything, that's a little too Disneyland. Hang on. It's twice that much. Hang on. How does the math on this work? Okay, they say that like I wouldn't block. I mean, normally I think that would be 5, twice that is 10, twice 10 is 20. But like, yeah, just block. Don't need you. Don't need you. 6. I kind of want to keep Chandra if at all possible. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't really have an option if I want to have a board though. Another planes. I guess Chandra. It's really frustrating, but okay. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I mean, good on them. They've done well and have likely turned the corner on this. Yep, it's over. I'm not gonna sit here and like I could technically keep the game going. They just attacked my resources and did what a mono black sort of discard heavy deck does, and that's fine. But anywho, we'll go on now to game number 2. And game number 2 with our little Boros Tempered Steel list. And of course, whenever possible, we play first, because we have a brain. This is a 1-lander, and I don't normally feel great about keeping 1-landers, but we have 2 1-drops, so I'm going to take my chances here. Esper Sentinel. And if they, you know, play non-creatures and can't pay for them in the early turns, we might get lucky and get there. Luckily, not only did we, you know, still have my original point of having a 1-drop in our hand, we also drew another 1-drop. What is that? Exile up to 1 other target non-land, non-token permanent. Its controller creates a token that's a copy of it, except it's not legendary, and it's an artifact. Token you... Cool. That is a fucking pile of card. Cool. I'm just gonna get rid of that. Okay, like... Let me take another look at this card. This card, ETB, exile up to 1 target. Kind of a removal spell, but not really. Why? So really, the dedicated doll maker is like, hey, have a legendary you want? Why not have another one? Which is fine. It's just, my god. One, that shit is a perfect example of Alchemy cards are more so designed to suck up free-to-play players' resources, got there in the end, than it is about making, like, particularly good cards. Like, most of them are bulk rares? The fuck is... Okay. Yeah, a lot of them are bulk rares just designed to eat up your stuff. In the meantime, Skyclave Apparition. Get rid of the Juggernaut Peddler. Weirdly, I've actually seen, like... It's not a common card, the Juggernaut Peddler, but in the last couple weeks of testing with this, I've actually seen, like, you know, a not insignificant amount of Juggernaut Peddlers. And I understand that in most decks that's supposed to be a downside, but I am playing an artifact-based aggressive list. I'll just fucking play the dude that gets buffed by my Tempered Steel. Seems a little weird and counterproductive, but, like, you know, happy accidents and all that. Do need to draw another land, though. Would love a red source to get that part of it running. Okay, I no longer know what their deck is or is trying to be. In the meantime, just do things. Attack with a 3/3. I see no reason to threaten my board when I'm already in a pretty good spot. Skyclave, it's a Skyclave, and that weird fucking... What a weird fucking game this is. Hey, there we go. Huh. Weirdly, I'm going to play the Juggernaut. I'd rather buff the Juggernaut and all my Esper Sentinels. And in the meantime, just keep pressuring with a 3/3. Happy to make that trade all day. And even if we're being honest also in this moment, all we can do next turn is play the Arcbound. Sorry? Okay, that's, like, cute. Okay, okay. I'd argue there are, like, way cheaper wildcard-wise ways to, like, get copies or additional uses out of your Skyclave. But, okay. That's fine. What do I do in the meantime? Does Flage meaningfully change my turn? Kinda does, honestly. Yeah, we'll play the Flage. I was thinking about playing the Arcbound and buffing my board, but I'd rather just use Flage, get rid of the biggest thing on the board. Oh, fuck it. I forgot about that line of text. Okay, cool. So when we just lose that, that's cool. Cool, that's fine. That's cool. I'm sorry? Tokens gain indestructible. Fine. Activate only once. Like, I mean, cool. I guess you got me one time. What the fuck is... Okay, cool. That certainly is a card. That's fine. That's cool. Shikari is gone. I gotta be honest, I don't super care. That helps. That's really big. And he can only activate it once. So now we just threaten lethal and make him make trades. That's fine. Draws. They live here, though. They can mechanically live. It's also just about how much of my board they want to get rid of. If they double block. Weirdly, I want to do the Doll Maker first. Because there are worlds in which he, like, maybe flickers the Doll Maker, which no, actually. Well, okay. I think he could flicker it and get, like, an additional, like, you know, exile the thing, make a token thing. He would get an extra copy of that, but because it's an Alchemy card, I think that activate only once is treated like a perpetually thing, even though it doesn't say perpetually. Oh, this goofy-ass, really cute combo. Fine. Spellbook? Okay, so you can always find. Cool. The deck is a fucking pile of cards. Sure, fine, whatever. This card has allowed some goofy shit to exist. Sure. Is there anything I... Yeah, I'm good. Like, honestly, this card I've seen way too much of. This card allows, like, some stupid shit that really shouldn't, like, function normally to, like, see play. Sabaz is kind of crap. Chandra's not that great. I'm not going to get a whole lot of use out of it. Because really, I'll say the technical... And oh no, I'm a salty sailor and I'm going to be really negative. Fucking oh well. I'm not making you watch the video. That 2-card combo is... How do I word this? The Sorin into that Alinda, whatever the fuck her name is, Alchemy card, made what was a really interesting card in Sorin really boring. Because now it's, and I'm not exaggerating, in the last 2 weeks, I have not seen another card put into play with Sorin. It's a different thing when you play, like, throwing this back, when you play the Sorin and you cheat in like a Vein Ripper or something, because the game is, odds are it's gonna be over very soon. It just is the way that it is. But Alinda's one of those, like, I mean, it's yes, it will make the game end quicker, but like not that quicker. And it's just one of those, like, it's weird to like want to be so fast that you want to skip a few turns and then not make the most like speedy play, but whatever, fine. In the meantime, Esper Sentinel, hope we find a white source to play Tempered Steel and just bonk. Juggernaut Peddler, again, that's fine. That's cool. That's fine. Even better. Got there in the end. Tempered Steel, we go face. Very simple. Is he gonna have the doll maker and then he's gonna flat... Oh. Okay, let's see. Let's see if our opponent does the Alinda thing. Yeah, it's... Man. This card made this card boring with it. This is a rare instance of, like, it's a good Alchemy card. It's fine. It's a good Alchemy card. It's not exciting, but it's good. But this card has made Sorin boring now, which is crazy. Yeah, it's a genuinely crazy thing to say. That Sorin Imperious Bloodlord, which was doing, like, really fun, interesting stuff, is now a boring card. But that's, I guess, the world we live in now. But fine. You know what? I've already decided that... Okay, I'm going to say something, and again, what you talked about, oh no, Max is being a very salty sailor, and you're too negative, that's fine. I'll sum up the deck now. This deck is fun. It is a perfectly functional deck that can get you to not platinum, but diamond like it did for me. If you like Tempered Steel, you know, like Artifact Go Wide decks, and you're looking for one to play, it's a good list. You'll have a good time. So, if you're still here, and you don't mind me being kind of salty and airing my grievances, this is not the first time I have gotten Mythic. I've gotten Mythic like 2 other times, and one was during the pandemic where I got to like the top 15%. And this, what I'm about to say, was true then and now. The only reason why I stuck through that first time to the top 15% thing was because I just wanted to see how high it could get, like rank-wise. And I felt comfortable with that. Because that's a level of good I can, like, believe that I am. All of that being said, I don't like playing at Mythic. Really, even Diamond is, like, not fun. Once you get above, you know, the middle ground, sure. Once you get above the middle ground in rank, that, and I understand by design, sort of requires that decks be a certain level of good, or a certain level of power for them to, you know, to, like, sort of, how do I word this? In the meantime, real fast, genre. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Once you're in the format that demands that decks be a certain level of good, the game becomes, for me, infinitely less fun. If you could not tell, if you have watched my content for more than like 2 weeks, I don't make decks trying to be the next #1 deck. I'm not like a spike personality in any game I play anymore. I'm just not that guy. But, so, when a person like me, sure, I'm just going through the motions. But so when a person like me, who's not a spike, very win-oriented person, is put into these upper echelons that can sort of be only really inhabited by the winners. Okay. Oops. Here, we'll do this. Let me just say, the deck is fun. It's fun. I don't like playing at Mythic, so you're probably not going to see Mythic in the future. It just makes the game less fun when everyone is trying to win and no one's trying to make cool, interesting decks. That's about as calm as I can say it. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.